Hello everyone, and welcome back to Steins Linear Bounded Phenogram. I'm G, and basically everything is all messed up, and I don't understand anything, and there's something going on, and nothing makes any sense, and that's basically where we're at now. So, let's get started. When I turned around, my area was reaching for the third Mitarashi Dango skewer. Seemingly sensing my gaze, she slowly turned to face me. She laughed, embarrassed. Then she takes a bite of Mitarashi Dango. Her mouth is dripping. She licks the tarry sauce off of her lips. Nothing has changed. Mayuri, eating dango with a blissful smile on her face. She regained that smile the day she became my hostage. Mayuri was 11 years old when her beloved grandmother died. After that, she had lost both her words and her smile. She might have lost her hearing, too. No matter how many times I called her name, she never responded. It was the cemetery, where her deceased grandmother sleeps. For over half a year, Mayuri stood in front of her gravestone every single day. Even on rainy days and windy days. I was in middle school back then, but because I was worried about Mayuri, I often went to the cemetery to check on her. Mayuri always stood in front of the gravestone, silently looking up at the sky. She looked so ephemeral, it was as if she could disappear at any moment. So I called her name over and over again to try to keep her here. Mayuri. Mayuri? But Mayuri never responded. Holding her pocket watch tightly in her hand, she just stared up into the heavens. That pocket watch was a keepsake from her grandmother. Mayuri's most important treasure. Mayuri always carried it with her. That old antique pocket watch. It was quite a while later that I found out that it had a name. Pockety. And one rainy day, Mayuri stood in front of that gravestone, umbrella in hand as she gazed up at the falling rain. The rain eventually subsided and light broke through the clouds. A phenomenon known as Rembrandt rays, or an angel's ladder. For a moment, I lost myself in the beautiful sight before me. And a gust of wind blew by and carried Mayuri's umbrella away. But Mayuri hardly seemed to notice. Slowly, she reaches her hand towards the beckoning ray of light. It looked as though she was trying to grab onto an invisible ladder. She stands up on the very edge of her tiptoes. Climbing. Rising. It's going to be taken away. But without thinking, I grabbed Mayuri's wrist, and before I knew it, I was embracing her. I'll never let you go. I'll never let them take you. I didn't realize how embarrassing those words were until I said them. Mayuri is my hostage. She's the sacrifice for my human experimentation. So to hide my experiment, I just started chaining words together. This line came from an enemy boss character from a hero drama that Mayuri and I were into. He was supposed to be a mad scientist, and I was good at impersonating him. Oh, said Mayuri in my arms. Her small shoulders shook. Maybe she's a hostage, huh? The voice I hadn't heard for half a year was quiet and ragged, but very comfortable to my ear. I guess that's just how it is. Mayuri said as she burrowed her face into my chest. A warm tear seemed to permeate my skin. From that day, Mayuri became my hostage. As my hostage, Mayuri regained her words, but she still periodically visited the cemetery. I went with her every time, offering flowers with her. Every time we visited the graveyard, we made sure to stop by a food stall to eat dango. She always ordered Mitarashi Dango. Mayuri, savoring the bite she'd taken, regained her usual smile. Suddenly, a muffled bassy sound growled into the room. I heard a car door shut. Something feels wrong. I rush over to the window and look down. There's a single car parked in front of the Brown Tube workshop. A black SUV with tinted windows. It did not look friendly. But it was surrounded by something even further from friendly. Around the car stood men wearing black hoods. Whoa, wait. Who are these people? Within their deep hoods, the men were wearing creepy masks. No, not just the masks. Everything about their appearance just seemed to drip with suspicion. Are these rounders? I eliminated the thought the moment it entered my head. These men are not rounders. Rounders don't stand out like that during surveillance. What's more, I know from other world lines that their raid is at another time. Then, debt collectors? That possibility was also weeded out immediately. According to the contract, their repayment deadline wasn't until next year. There was no way they would come collect the money I had just borrowed yesterday. But then, who are these people? Then it hit me. I remember the D-mail that was sent to my Erie's cell phone. Fight Black Hoods. Maybe that was supposed to mean black hoods instead of blackheads. But that would mean... Hey, what are you looking at, Green? When I turned around, I saw my Erie running toward me. You idiot, get down! I reactively grabbed my Erie's head and pulled her down next to me. Hey, what? There are some shady people out in front of the Brown Tube workshop. Organization? Maybe, but probably not. Really? Maybe she wants to see. No! Why not? There's no point in hiding it now. I told her without hesitation. Mary, listen carefully. You were kidnapped in a different world line. It's possible that you will be in this world line as well. In other words, someone is targeting you. Mary tilted her head slightly. Huh? That was her response. What I'm trying to say is that the guys outside might be the kidnappers. If that's the case, it would be bad if they found out you were here. So... I don't really get it, but okay. I'll go be in the development room. Mary lays flat on the floor, then rolls towards the development room and disappears inside. He has zero sense of urgency. I muttered to myself, then look out the window again. While my Erie's overpowering tranquility nearly made me forget, this was a dire situation. 5 mystery men stand in front of the Brown Tube workshop as if to block out our path. The Ohiyama building is very closely surrounded by similar buildings on each side, but the entrance. There's no alternative way out. I thought about jumping from our bathroom window to the building directly across from it, but... when I took a closer look, I realized that the window of the other building was reinforced with steel fencing, so it would be impossible to sneak in. So in order to escape, I have to get down the stairs and past all 5 men with my Erie in tow. But I didn't believe that would be possible. It would be hard alone. Attempting to escape while leading my Erie along by the hand would be a fool's errand. And what can I do? How do I get out of this? The door to our lab is securely locked. But I knew from experience that the lock was brittle and could be broken with a kick. If those 5 men get in here, we're finished. Even I, a master of Station Zanma-style swordsmanship, I'm only a human without a blade. Fighting 5 people to protect my Erie may be too much for me to handle. At that moment, my cell phone rang. Shit, I didn't see who it was. Okabe! My ears were assailed by a booming voice, so deep it sounded as though it were emerging from underground. But I recognized it. Yamamura-sensei, my middle school homeroom teacher. Wrong! Then who are you? Say your name. Oh? Makise, what? It's Makise. Kurisu Makise, you can't tell? Oh, at Channeler Chris, perfect timing. I'm just gonna switch to her voice. I don't know what's going on with the booming voice. That's not my name. Anyway, listen to me, Christina. We're in trouble. Same here, and it's all your fault. What? I dropped my cell phone. Where? In a toilet. It got soaked. I managed to salvage it, but it's bricked. You mean it's broken? Yes, that's why I'm calling you from a payphone. Oh dear, I send my condolences. You're making fun of me now? Well, how is it supposed to be my fault? Because you called off the development summit out of nowhere. I was in the middle of shopping for it. You just called us and canceled the conference without telling us why. So I got mad and... And? At this net cafe. You're at an internet cafe, huh? You just laughed, didn't you? Laugh? Me? No, never. Ah. Anyway, you're saying you dropped your cell phone in the toilet at the net cafe. Yes, that's why it's all your fault. I'm not really seeing the cause and effect at work here, but whatever. This isn't the time to quibble. Christina, have you calmed down? What? It sounds like you finally cooled off. So what if I have? Then listen to me. I'll say it one more time. I'm in trouble. Told her everything that I had gone through, everything about the suspicious men outside. I didn't leave a single detail out. After listening to my story, Kursu let out a small sigh and spoke. I understand. Anyway, my area's safety is the utmost priority, so... Everything falls silent. All I can hear from the cell phone is white noise. But it didn't last long. Somebody knocks on the door. No. What happened? I take a quick look out the window. No one there. The men in black hoods that stood around the car had disappeared. Which would mean... This is bad. They're right outside the door. Is it locked? It is, but it's only a matter of time before they kick down the door. Another silence. My hands grow wet with perspiration. My cell phone almost slipped out of my right hand, but I used my left to support it. After a moment, Kursu spoke. Do exactly as I say. I have a plan. A plan? No questions. There are people outside the door, right? There's no time. Hurry up and move. What do you mean, move? What am I supposed to do? Tap the phone wave to send a D-mail. D-mail? I just told you no questions, didn't I? You did, but I can't send a D-mail if you don't explain to me exactly... Don't misunderstand me. You're not sending the D-mail. I am. Now, get moving. It seemed I had no choice but to follow her instructions. I jumped to the development room to set up the phone wave news would change. Mayuri was there. She sat in the corner of the room, holding her knees. A pair of headphones on her head. It looks like she's listening to music on a portable music player. She looks at me and cocks her head. I held up my hand to tell her not to move and mouth the words, "Don't worry." Then I activate the X68000. I put the cell phone in my ear again and spoke. Just tell me one thing. Why a D-mail and not a time leap? In Other World Line, I told you the time leap machine is defective, right? I believe my own words, that's all. I just made a successful time leap. I wanted to protest, but... My words were wiped away by the sound of the doorknob rattling violently. It doesn't look like I have time to argue. Alright, so where and when do you want to send your D-mail? The recipient will be your cell phone. The time will be, 3 hours ago. Set the timer to 180 seconds. Why 3 hours ago? Shut up! You asked too many questions! Do you want to save my area or not? I click my tongue and do as she says. It's done. The recipient is my cell phone. The timer is set to 180 seconds. Then activate the phone wave exactly 3 minutes from now. I'm counting on you. Hey, wait, why? Before I could say 3 minutes, she'd hung up. Shit. The 3 minutes felt like an eternity as they passed by. They were punctuated by the continuous raucous noise of the doorknob being twisted and shoved. The sound of knocking didn't stop either. I almost lost my mind worrying when the door would finally break open. On the other hand, Mayuri was happily tapping her fingertips, humming, and otherwise enjoying her music. Then, the time finally arrived. I have no idea what Kursu was scheming, but I thought that for now I need to trust her. I believe she can make something happen. With a prayer in my heart, I activate the phone wave, name subject change. A moment later comes the electrical discharge. Then, my phone rang. Sorry, change the D-mail recipient immediately. What? The discharge is already happening. Just do it. Change the recipient to my Aries phone. I just realized it'll be harder for the enemy to intercept it this way. Countless questions run through my brain, but I didn't have the time to ask any of them. I've never changed recipients while electrical discharge was occurring. Will it work? I don't know. I don't know, but I had no other choice. I had to try. I changed the recipient to my Eri cell phone, just as Kurisu instructed. Done! Thanks, we just barely made it. It's all complete now. Your reading Steiner should activate soon. I set the mail to send after the delay, so it should happen any second now. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you one last thing. The reason I sent the email to 3 hours ago. 6:18 right now, right? I wanted to save my Eri and at the same time save my own phone. It's all up to you now. After she hung up, I realized I had failed to ask her one important thing. What did the email say? That question soon melted away into the distorting world in front of me. 4.456442. I shut my eyes tightly and waited for the usual nausea to fade away. When my sense of balance returned to me, I slowly opened my eyes. I could see someone standing in front of me. Kurisu. What's wrong? You look pale. She examines my face to see how I'm feeling. I catch a glimpse of something over her shoulder. Lockers. The lockers in front of Daibiru. As usual, it was clear that the reading Steiner had activated, but I had no idea what I was doing here. I redirected my attention to Kurisu and asked, what am I doing here? Huh? What happened to my Eri? What happened to her? That's why we're surveilling this place, right? I don't know. But like you said, I don't think it's very likely that Ix will show up here. Ix? Echinu Snake? You know, the person who might have kidnapped my Eri? You're the one that came up with the name. Did you forget? Wait. What the hell are you saying? That's my line. Are you telling me you have amnesia? I inhaled deeply, opened my eyes wide open, and... I violently tear at my hair and scream incomprehensibly. What's wrong with you all of a sudden? What happened? I'll tell you all about me later, but before that I need to know what's going on. Just, what happened? Kurisu, seemingly shocked by my aggressive outburst, slightly twitched before responding. I don't really understand you, but fine. I'll tell you everything that happened in the past couple of hours. According to Kurisu, I received a ransomed email from Ix at 4:03 p.m. in this world line. After that, Kurisu headed to Yanabayashi Shrine and met with Rikuko. Rikuko told her my Eri hadn't stopped by. I, meanwhile, had taken position around here, keeping an eye on the coin lockers in front of Daibiru. But I saw no trace of Ix. Eventually, Kurisu met up with me. Then, 4C showed up, crowbar in hand. But that would mean back in the original world line. The original world line? What do you mean? Without answering her, I took out my cell phone and checked at the inbox. Just as Kurisu said, there's a ransomed email. Orshina, you know what? In DB locker. This can't be! Distraught, I looked for any excuse to deny that this was reality. I switched back to my inbox. When my stomach drops. They're gone. The message is saying, keep my area in to stop. And the stop summit use no fire one. They've disappeared. Disappeared? Why? Stunned, I put the cell phone back in my pocket. Then, something touched my fingertips. I take it out. It was my Eri cell phone. I opened it, but the screen wouldn't turn on. I held the power button, but get no response. Battery's dead. It's not like holding this thing in my hands will recharge it. I swapped cell phones and called Daru. Just as I had with Kurisu, I interrogate Daru about what had happened in the last few hours. But his answers were largely the same as Kurisu's. At 4:03, I received the ransom message from Ix. After finishing his take on things, he shakily asks me a question. Okarine, what should we do? Maybe we should call the police. I told Daru to stay put at the lab for now, and hung up. My Eri has been kidnapped. My Eri has been kidnapped. My Eri has been kidnapped. Why? How? My soulless voice sneaks past my lips. My strength drifts away from my body and I collapse. Hey, Okabe, are you alright? Step out of it! Kurisu wraps her arms around my sides and tries to stand me up. But I cannot stiffen my legs or hips. Kneeling in place, I quietly look up at Kurisu's face. Our eyes meet. Behind her is the sunset sky, ready to melt at any moment. Kurisu holds my head in her arms and whispers in my ear. It's okay, I'll take care of this. So, tell me everything. Please. With my face still buried in her chest, I slowly, quietly start to speak. By the time I'd finished my story, the red had faded from the sky. Beyond the painted darkness, I can see a few stars twinkling. I suddenly recall Mayuri's stardust handshake. I vaguely understand Mayuri's feelings when she reached toward the sky to try and grab the stars. I'll cut to the chase. You probably wound up back in the original world line after the last activation of the reading Steiner, that is. Her words went way over my head. Back to the original world line? I could do nothing but parrot her words back to her. For sake of convenience, let's just call the first world line you experience World Line 1, second world line you experience World Line 2, and the third World Line 3, okay? World Line 1 refers to this world line where you receive the blackmail from Ix. World Line 2 refers to the world line where the lab caught fire. And World Line 3 is the world line where you found the bloodstains in the lab. Do you follow me so far? I awkwardly nod my head. First, in World Line 1, you sent the Keep Mayuri in D-mail and moved to World Line 2. Next, in World Line 2, you sent the Stop Summit, Use No Fire D-mail and slid over into World Line 3. There, after seeing the bloodstains in the lab and getting confused, you time leaped back to 540, but still stayed in World Line 3. There, you and Mayuri stayed at the lab, but were surrounded by the Black Hooded men. You then asked World Line 3 me for help, and she sent a D-mail at 618, right? And as a result, you came back to World Line 1. Do you understand now? Understand? My ass! It doesn't make any sense! What doesn't? If this truly is World Line 1, why do you and I exist? Not just us, it doesn't make sense that anyone in the world, the animals, the plants, the essence of anything exists. Why is that? Because I sent the Keep Mayuri in D-mail in World Line 1. This world's history should have been rewritten to that of World Line 2 as a result. That's why... But you didn't send it. What? I said you didn't send that D-mail. You may have sent it in the World Line 1 that you've already experienced, but in this World Line 1 you haven't. Please speak Japanese. That was Japanese. I don't understand. I took out my cell phone and checked the outbox. Not the inbox, but the outbox, and... it was gone. The history in which I sent the Keep Mayuri in mail in World Line 1 has vanished. What was there was the message I sent to Ix saying we need to talk. Wait. But that's fine, right? If the Keep Mayuri in message isn't there, that's evidence that this is not World Line 1. I immediately told Kurisu. Then she unexpectedly admitted her mistake. You're right, my words earlier may not have been completely accurate. Allow me to restate things. You have moved to a world line that is infinitely close to World Line 1 that you have experienced. Is that better? What do you mean, infinitely close? Let's just call it the near World Line 1, shall we? The only difference between World Line 1 and near World Line 1 is whether you sent the Keep Mayuri in D-mail or not. Everything else is the exact same. You can think of it that way. But that's just my hypothesis. I'm not in a position to be able to verify this. It's theoretical. However, there is one person in this world who would be able to verify whether it is true or not. That person is, of course, you, Okabe Rintaro. Near World Line 1. A world line infinitely close to the World Line 1 I've experienced. Given everything I've seen, it was hard to disagree with Kurisu. Which must mean that Mayuri... Hey, tell me something. Why do you think I wound up back in this near Worldline 1 in the first place?
Hard question. There's no doubt that the demon I sent in Worldline 3 was the trigger, but...
You've got a point. What kind of D-mail could you have sent back then?
How should I know? Asking near Worldline 1 me isn't going to help.
Come to think of it, you made me wait for 3 minutes after activating the phone wave name subject change, didn't you? What exactly were you doing?
I just said that asking me was useless.
Then why did you change the D-mail recipient from my cell phone to my Yuri's at the last minute?
I have no idea about any of this.
Then what about that time? Why did you want me to send the D-mail to 3 hours prior? Being Steiner activated at 6:18, so 3 hours before that would be 3:18. However...
Oh, that I think I actually know.
Gersu spoke as she stuck her hands in her pocket.
Perhaps Worldline 3 me wanted to fix her brick cell phone. That's why she had you send the D-mail to 3:18. That would have been 4 minutes before you received the Stop Summit D-mail at 3:22. In other words, I wanted to send the D-mail prior to receiving the Stop Summit D-mail. By doing so...
You thought I would delete the Stop Summit D-mail. By doing so, you would erase ever going to that net cafe recovering your phone in the process.
And the Stop Summit D-mail actually did get deleted, meaning that I...
Gersu took out her phone and waved at me before continuing.
Succeeded in recovering my phone.
I tilted my head skyward. It seemed like there were more stars out there than there were earlier. But it makes no difference. They were all out of my reach. No matter how far I tried to extend my grasp, I could never grab them. Frustration boils up from within me. Time mocks me as it passes by. The noise of the city leaks through the gaps between the buildings. The cheerful laughter of young people only further enrages me.
Hey, there's one thing I think I should tell you.
Gersu's sudden comment makes me furrow my brow.
What Mayuri told you in Worldline 3 is a lie.
A lie?
She said that she won the lottery, right? That's a lie. She didn't think anyone knew, but Hashida and I figured it out. You did too, just a while ago.
Figured what out?
3 million yen. Mayuri earned that money by taking one of her most treasured belongings to a pawn shop. You probably thought we wouldn't want to use the money if the truth got out. No, that's an understatement. You probably would have yelled,
"There's no way we can use that money. Take it back to the pawn shop."
So Mayuri made up the lottery story.
And what is this treasured belonging of hers?
A pocket watch. Apparently it has a name. Pockety.
No. Pockety is Mayuri's keepsake of her deceased grandmother. Her irreplaceable treasure. I understood that more than anybody. Christina, where is this pawn shop?
Eh?
I'm asking you where the pawn shop is and what it's called. I'm gonna go get it back.
You already went.
What?
You already went yesterday, alone. With 3 million yen.
It's coming together. It's all coming together. That's why I borrowed money from that Karone Shinpan financial company.
Karone? Oh, you mean Mondo Shinpan?
So that's how the kanji is read. I managed to retrieve Pockety safely, right?
Well, for some reason you came back empty-handed.
Why?
That's why I want to know. What happened? Oh, and about the debt. You don't need to return any of it. It violates the Interest Rate Restriction Act and the investment law, so you don't even know the capital. I can have a lawyer friend of mine look over it, so there's no need to worry, okay?
I wasn't concerned anyway. I didn't care. I didn't care about that. Just felt like Mary's feelings caught in my chest. She pawned what was most important to her. Probably more important than her own life. And for what? For the lab, for the bright future of the Future Gadget Laboratory. About a month ago, I must have picked up that flyer somewhere and confidently proclaimed, "We will enter the Akiba Invention Contest!" Simultaneously commencing the Future Gadget Magic Mod project. But due to lack of funding, we likely couldn't make the modifications we had hoped to. Mayuri watched from the sidelines as Daru and I found ourselves at our wits' end. I can see it clearly. That's why she lied about winning the lottery.
Mayuri seemed to believe in you, you know? No, she still believes in you. She believes that you can win the Occupy Invention Contest grand prize. She told me. Yeah, this little Korean Daru made her really, really cool. They really were great. And if you got involved, Case-chan, they'd be unbeatable. They get the grand prize for sure. She probably wasn't afraid of pawning Pockety. The contest grand prize was 3 million yen after all. I think she believed that she could use that money to get it back.
With my eyes shut tight and teeth gritted, I clenched my fists so tightly my shoulders tremble. Mayuri believed in us, putting something she valued more than her life on the line for our future. But that Mayuri is not with us right now. She may be alone somewhere, crying. If so, then there's only one option left to us. I opened my eyes and quietly spoke. Christina, we're sending a D-mail.
I thought you'd say that. In that case, I have a plan. Will you let me take the lead?
Not this time. I'm only in this mess because I let you take lead in World Line 3.
I wouldn't do anything so careless in this world line.
You're still the same Makise Kurisu.
I promise I'll be fine.
I wonder.
I'll even tell you the message.
What do you plan on sending?
Before, when you sent the email in World Line 1, you tried to keep Mayuri from leaving the lab, right? And in World Line 2, the fire occurred in the lab. So this time, we've got to let Mayuri loose.
Let her loose?
We'll follow her and catch the kidnapper. That should fix everything.
As she spoke, Kurisu took out her cell phone and started to type. Eventually, her fingers stopped. On the screen faced towards me, the message was written as follows. Tail Mayuri, perpetrator must be caught. That's creative. Caught instead of caught.
Well, you know, normally we go over the character limit, right?
The question is whether the past me will understand it or not.
Don't worry, I'm sending it to my phone.
Wait, tell me you have a good reason for this.
I'm in the steep already. I can't just have you keep me out of the loop in the next world line, can I? Let me help. I want to help. Besides, this plan is really risky alone.
What about the time? Kurisu looked at her watch and spoke.
4 hours ago. I was 240 minutes sound.
Well, it's currently...
it's currently 7:21, so it would arrive when Mayuri's still at the lab.
Before I noticed it, I was dancing to Kurisu's beat. I had already muttered the words of approval. Very well. The die is cast. I called Daru and asked him to set up the phone wave names to change, the way we discussed. Then a while later... Ready to roll, Ocarine. Okay, Daru. Phone wave names to change. Activate! We're discharging. Christina, now!
Roger!
With that one-word response, Kurisu pressed send. 4.493623. The usual distortion of my vision doesn't stop. The world around me seems to wave as if engulfed by extreme heat. Like the haze that rises from the asphalt under a blazing sun. It won't go away. The refractive index of the world seems out of joint. Or rather, hot. Why is it so hot? Waves of heat rain down on me from above. This isn't good. I timidly raise my head to see the lab engulfed in flames. God, what is this? I caught a glimpse of the flames through the window. It looks stronger than last time. I thought my skin would burn just standing here. Wait, last time? Did I have returned once again? I've been in this world line once before. Which would mean this is world line number 2. It's absurd. Why? At this point I wasn't concerned whether this was a so-called near world line or not. Either way, it is certain that this is a world line very similar to the world line number 2 that I had previously experienced. I don't know why. How did it come to this? The D-mail sent to Kurisu's cell phone said, Tail Mayuri. How does that lead us here? Damn it! But more pressingly, I've got to do something about this fire! Having said that, though, it didn't seem like there was much I could do. Hey, where are the firefighters? There was a fire at the big building near the station, so apparently they're dealing with that. At this rate, it's just a matter of time until the fire spreads to another building. I hear the voices of the crowd. But when I look towards them, I see Mayuri in my periphery. Mayuri! Even in the middle of this disaster, as soon as I saw Mayuri, my heart started to dance. But I couldn't run up to her and call her name with joy. Because Mayuri was crying. She was sitting on the edge of the sidewalk, her shoulders shivering. By her side was Kursu trying to comfort her. Kursu had her arm wrapped around Mayuri's shoulders and was whispering something to her. My feet instinctually carried in their direction. I stand beside the two of them. Something my presence, Mayuri spoke as she slowly raised her face towards me.
I'm sorry, Ocarine. I'm really sorry.
I don't know what to say to her. While searching for words, Mayuri continued.
Also, thank you. Missed my chance to say thanks earlier. Thank you for saving me. If I was on my own in that fire, maybe she probably would have.
Apparently I managed to rescue Mayuri out of the fire in this World Line 2. Getting more and more certain that this is either World Line 2 or near World Line 2.
Thank you. Thank you, Ocarine.
Mayuri said repeatedly, tears trickling down her face. Without saying a word, I lay my hand on her head and gently stroke her ash-covered hair. Then came Daru. He spoke blankly as he stared at the blazing fire.
You bad about that, Scab. Don't let it get you down, Ocarine.
Why would it?
Because you treasured that Scab too. We went to every Komichi, and Komichi together since we were in high school. Our collection of illustrations slowly grew in that humble book.
Hold on, you just say we went?
You have a problem with that?
You mean we as in you and...
You, of course.
Madness, I have no memory of attending such events.
Could this be carbon monoxide poisoning? Are your brain cells fried? Two of us definitely collected those illustrations together. That also means we have no way of paying our debt now, I guess.
Wait, part 2. What's our debt have to do with the sketchbook?
Excuse me? Are you serious?
It was too much of a hassle to explain. I just told Daru he was right about the carbon monoxide poisoning to get the conversation moving.
Didn't you go to the hospital?
I'll go as soon as you tell me what I need to know. So what's the relationship between the debt and the sketchbook?
It's simple. When we put that Scab out on Taboo Auctions, we sold for exactly 3 million yen. There was someone working for a publisher, and their name was... I don't remember. But anyway, that person was supposed to come buy that Scab tonight, with cold hard cash. After the fire, well...
I see. The debt's interest was 0% if it was paid within a month. So if we sold the sketchbook and received the 3 million yen, we could have paid the debt in full. But... Hey Daru, why didn't we try disputing the debt altogether? The assistant told me something to the tune of the loan violated certain interest laws, so we don't have to pay it.
You really think something like that would work? You remember what I said on Hatchan?
Daru took out his cell phone and turned the browser screen towards me. The page said the following. Mondo Shinpan is really fair. Shinpan can be trusted. Here. Is better than any credit company. Seriously, nobody can refute this. Bad credit? No credit? No problem. News can't cover it. It's so real. You have such bargain prices. No force, no pressure here. Health insurance, whatever you need money for, they've got you covered. Reminds me of my own mother. Will you give it a try? They crushed out competition. You won't regret it. So, are you sure this is the post you want to show me? It says right here that Mondo Shinpan is really fair.
One must be able to see a lie for what it is. You really don't remember, Ocarine? I showed you this Hatchan post last night too. You read it properly then.
Thought for a while. Did I not read it properly? Just now?
Freaking me out, man. Not funny, Ocarine. It's obviously supposed to be read vertically, remember?
Vertically? Oh, so that's how you read it. Now that you mentioned it, I finally realized what I was doing wrong. Alright, let's try this. Mondo Shinpan is seriously bad news. They force insurance money. It will crush you. Shinpan can better nobody credit. Can't have no whatever. Okay, no, it was just the first one. I look at Daru's phone screen once again, reading the first word of each line. Mondo Shinpan is seriously bad news. They force insurance money. It will crush you. Mondo Shinpan is seriously bad news. They force insurance money. It will crush you?
By the way, it was Maxi who found this post. She googled Mondo Shinpan after finding out that you'd taken a loan from them.
Ah, so it was Kursu. Encrypting code like this would be a piece of cake for a net channeler. Jeez.
Prompted by this post, I dug a little deeper into this Mondo Shinpan. Sure enough, it was a jackpot, full of suspicious rumors. Okay, we're screwed, aren't we? If we don't do something that might really crush you.
Crush. No. I don't want to be crushed. I really don't want to be crushed. What should I do? Email? Time leap? As I contemplated this, I looked up the Okiyama building. It seems like the flames have gotten even stronger. I mean, this is bad. Really, really bad. I finally regained my cool. The sketchbook, the debt, the possibility of ending up at the bottom of Tokyo Bay with cement shoes. All are merely minor concerns, compared to the harsh reality that our precious sanctuary, filled with so many fun memories, was being incinerated in front of my eyes. This obviously takes precedence. Furthermore, beyond those flames lies the phone wave, names of the change/time leap machine. That gadget, a product of mere coincidence. Once it turns into ash, we will never be able to recapture it. What should I do? What am I supposed to do? I know exactly what to do. I growl as I kick the ground.
Wait, Ogre, where are you going?
I heard Daru's voice behind me, but I didn't have time to respond. I ran up the stairs towards the second floor, looking straight ahead. I opened the door and burst once more into the lab. This would be my third time. No matter how many times I enter this scorching hell, I don't get used to it. Furthermore, the more I repeat it, the hotter and hotter the fire gets. The flames have spread wide and now lick the ceiling. I can't breathe. I can barely keep my eyes open. The extreme heat penetrated deep into my core and I felt like my internal organs were being burned. But even then, I couldn't back down. I covered myself in a nearby lab coat, and with all the resolve I could muster, jumped through the raging flames. Clear the roaring sea of fire and into the development room I go. When I tumble in, the phone wave notices a change is lying there on its side, undamaged. The X68000, the monitor, keyboard, and headgear are all there. But in this extreme heat, it's possible that the sensitive internals have damaged. Work. Please. I press the power button on the X68000 with a prayer on my lips. With a distinctive CRT startup sound, the monitor lit up. This is indeed the will of Steins Gate! I had already decided what to do. Steins Gate is telling me to leap. Then a leap I shall. I will leap to the past. The fire will eventually reach this place, destroying all these machines in the process. But even if the machinery could be saved, I cannot simply accept this lab burning down as a historical truth. It'd cause a lot of trouble for the neighbors, and the owner would probably beat me to death. Which is why I must, by any means necessary, prevent this fire from breaking out. And in order to do that, I must time leap. I did not consider D-mail to be a valid option. I'd already sent one in this world line number 2 after all. It allowed me to prevent the fire, but in its place. Anyway, there's no time. The fire is getting distressingly close. I type away at the keyboard, inputting the settings. The time leap destination is 3 hours ago, 180 minutes. Because we still haven't closed the book on Mayuri's kidnapping case. I chose that time in order to give myself enough time to investigate it. The preparations are all made. 42-inch CRT downstairs should still be on. I already confirmed it on the way up here. The headgear's already on my head. Now all I need to do is activate the time leap machine. I took several deep breaths, then spoke. Okay, let's go! And I think that that is a pretty good place to cut it. This is really intriguing. I'm interested to see, like, how this loop got started, and if it's, like, some sort of perpetual loop, and this isn't the first time that Okabe has been through this, or what exactly is going on. This is fascinating. I really like the intrigue in this, and how many different elements are at play. But yeah, for now, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate, Linear Bounded Phenogram. and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now!